You've just got to swing the bat, really. You know, you just got to swing the bat and know that the odds are on your side. It's a sustainable business that you can build and you can grow and you can sort of be proud of. All in all, it's absolutely been the best thing that I could have done, and dropship formulas helped me to do that.
You have up days, you have down days, like you just said. You had delivery issues this morning, but then we were sat eating lunch and you got an order in for what, nearly £3,000?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Joined the course, really happy with, you know, the way it was all put together and made a lot of sense. And, you know, we've gone from there really to the point where, you know, I now do work for myself. I think we're very close to it, to hitting, you know, 100k this month, which would be fantastic. If you've got to the point where you have found this course, then you're really lucky, you know, because there's many paths you can go down, but I think this has got to be up there with one of the best.
Hello everybody, Simon here from Dropship Formula. Today I have a guest with me, Phil. Phil has joined me in this wonderful surroundings of the De Vere Tortworth Court. This is the location for our Dropship Formula retreat. The time of the recording it hasn't happened, but hopefully there'll be a link in the description and you can see a little bit more of what we do on our retreat. It's a once a year kind of event, exclusive event where members get together and we kind of kick back. There's some talks, there's activities. It's a chance for us to all take things to the next level, and Phil kindly agreed to meet me here because he doesn't live too far away, and agreed to have a little chat. So thanks, Phil, for agreeing to sit down with me and have a chat.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Yeah, good to be here.
Basically what I wanted to do was just get a little bit of your story, you know, like when did you come across dropshipping? What did you do before then? Tell the people that might be watching this and listening to this your background before you got into high ticket dropshipping, before you found me.
Yeah, no. So I guess, you know, my background sort of the last sort of 10 years, I mean, kind of finished uni and went into a career as an engineer, and kind of worked my way through that and worked in various different roles, kind of working my way up and stuff. But I always was keen to run my own business and keen to do something for myself, really. So I always had that at the back of my mind. And, you know, over the years, in between, I've done all sorts of things online, you know, different areas that I'm sure people are quite aware of in terms of, you know, affiliate marketing and a bit of FBA and things like that. Really with the goal of kind of, you know, working for myself, right? Having my own company, as I say. And, you know, up until recently, maybe the sort of 2 years ago, I was working, and, you know, I found the dropship formula course, by yourself, and yeah, I mean, it looked great. I'd seen sort of things in and about the same sort of area about high ticket dropshipping, but, you know, they weren't UK focused, and, you know, it just felt like what you had on offer really sort of fit the bill. So, you know, went along and joined the course, really happy with, you know, the way it was all put together and made a lot of sense. And, you know, we've gone from there really to the point where, you know, I now do work for myself. So, you know, obviously those initial ambitions way back when, this has helped to get me there.
Most people kind of have a moment, you know, would you say you're an engineer, you worked office job?
Yes, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're 9 to 5 kind of thing, maybe extra long hours, all that kind of stuff. Most people kind of have a point that they get to when they think enough is enough kind of thing.
Yeah.
How did that look for you?
To be honest, it wasn't like a point necessarily for me. I think there was a sort of a moment over a period of years where I knew that I just didn't want to do this forever. And, you know, I think that's probably, again, a lot of people are in the same boat. You know, you probably maybe have some people that have that moment that it's like, I need to do something different, and then others that take a little longer and kind of like work things through slightly slower. but I guess the reasons for that were just the fact that I just wanted to be the sort of master of my own ship in a way, and be rewarded for the effort that I would put in. And I didn't feel that was the case when I was working for somebody else. You'd always feel that you were almost a job's a job and they're important, but you do sometimes feel that you're getting a bit shortchanged. And but equally, when you're doing something on your own, there were other things that you got responsibilities that you wouldn't have working for someone else. So, but all in all, it's absolutely been the best thing that I could have done. And dropship formulas helped me to do that, really.
Was it kind of a gradual thing then? I know we've talked previously, about all the things that you've done to do with SEO, blogs, and affiliates and stuff. So was it a gradual move out of employment?
Yeah, it was a sort of more of a gradual move out, and building up my experiences, building up my online income. And then I think this was just the sort of the final piece of the puzzle for me, really, with high ticket dropshipping, allowing me to kind of build on what I already have and link those things together, but finally take that leap from full-time employment to this, and a few other things. But as I say, it was, for me, it was a longer term kind of process of kind of working my way to that position, rather than kind of snapping and taking that decision overnight, which I'm sure many people do as well.
So, what was the appeal then of not just dropship formula, but high ticket dropshipping?
Yeah,
or dropshipping in general. There's lots of different kinds of dropshipping.
Yeah,
did some of those come on your?
Yeah, they did, to be honest, and I did try my hand at the classic kind of China AliExpress route, and I quickly saw that was just not the way to create a business, and it wasn't sustainable. It was a bit of a kind of bit of a joke, to be honest with you. And you could see that from what you were advertising with the course and with the high ticket drop shipping, it's a sustainable business that you can build and you can grow and you can sort of be proud of, and not feel that you're kind of cutting corners and trying to get rich quick kind of thing.
It's an asset.
It's an asset, yeah, and that's the best way I think that you can think of it. Really, is that you're building something that is an asset that you can do as you wish with, build and grow the income of, or look to maybe sell it one day. And yeah, this is why I think high ticket dropshipping and the course that you have is the ideal route into that process.
And how did you find out then about dropship formula? How did I come on your radar?
Yeah, I mean, I was searching around, and I knew of high ticket dropshipping, and I'm sure many people watching have looked around and seen the kind of the popular courses out there, maybe that are slightly more international, and I kind of looked at those, and I just felt that they weren't quite hitting the spot in terms of what I was looking for, and this one that you have, this dropship formula, I kind of stumbled across it through some of your advertising and whatnot, and it's an English guy, was a tick in the box. He seemed like really sincere and genuine. Another tick in the box, and it was good price. I just thought, well, what's to lose, really, and that was the reasons behind it. But absolutely no regrets. The best thing that I could have spent that money on, really, in terms of trying to find the best method to learn the process, really. Yeah.
Some time now, isn't it? How long is it since you joined?
I think I joined sort of early last year. So, it's probably coming on 18 months. Yeah.
And how were things then for you from starting, like first 3 to 6 months? Yeah,
I mean, I was already able to kind of focus a lot of time on this. So that gave me an advantage. But equally, I know of people that maybe are working full time and are building a store. It's entirely possible as well. First 3 to 6 months, a lot of hard work. and I think that's a key message that you always talk about, and I always speak to people about as well. It's not a sort of get rich quick scheme, and I think the longer you go down these sort of roads, the more that you realise that isn't what you want. You don't want things that happen fast. You want them to be sort of slow and gradual and build, because they're the ones that stick around over the long term. And that first 3 to 6 months was hard work, and a lot of hours, not only sort of learning the concepts and the information in the course and kind of wrapping my head around it, but obviously putting it all into practice, getting it all put down on not on paper but on the computer, and going from there really.
It's not rocket science. You're not pulling up trees, as I like to say, right? Yes, there's a lot of work, but that work goes into creating something. You're setting the foundations, as I like to call it. It's intelligent work, it's clever work. There's a lot of new vernacular terms, software tools that you have to learn. But once you've learnt them, those skills are transferable.
Yeah.
It's not like you are working extremely hard to see nothing at the end of it. Even if your store failed, and if you don't mind being honest,
absolutely, yeah.
The first one you did take a U-turn. I did too.
Yeah.
I completely U-turned on mine because I failed on the first one. But
I think that's a good word to use, actually, U-turn. It makes you feel a bit better.
It does, yeah. Just a bit of a U-turn and readjustment.
Yeah.
But all the things that I learned prior to that U-turn just gave me a much better foundation for that second attempt.
Yeah.
I used to look at those things as failures and a waste of time, but really they're not.
No.
Would you?
Absolutely, yeah. I think you can see, like you say, failure in probably two different ways. You can get beaten up by it and not come back to the ring, so to speak, or you can come back knowing that you've learned something, and that will put you in a better position moving forward. And yeah, for sure. I mean, there was obviously mentioned about the first store that I put together that didn't quite work out for a few reasons. But I think about myself now and where I am compared to where I was 18 months ago when I was starting out, and the skills and the knowledge that I have now, it's so far away from where I started. And I already had a good base knowledge of internet businesses and things like that, but I've just learned so much about what it takes to do this, and without sort of blowing your own trumpet, and many people out there will be the same. Now you've got those skills, you can do it again, and you can repeat these things, or you can use those skills to grow what you have with a lot of confidence, which you just wouldn't have if you sort of took a knock and you didn't get back up. So that's a really important point to emphasize.
I do see a few people, get that first knock, and it makes them wobble. They don't like that failure. But at one point in time, I'm sure you didn't know how to drive a car. I mean, going further back, you probably didn't know how to swim or walk. You don't give up, right? These things, okay, they might not be as difficult to learn, and they might not have as much social stigma if you do fail. Right, if you fail on an internet business idea, you get the idea that maybe your close loved ones or friends are gonna, why are you trying that on the internet? Get a proper job, kind of thing. Yeah, and sports people, anyone, never gives up on the first attempt. They all go through the failures. It's just that you don't broadcast those.
Yeah.
All the people are really interested in is how successful are you.
Yeah.
Right. How much money have you made?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Not how much have you grown as an individual?
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that the whole process of going through building your own business, not just Dropship Formula, but the whole process, has helped you grow?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. It's not just kind of an isolated, this is your business, and you get benefits from that. It's an all round thing as well. I mean, like you say about the hard work, discipline, and I've heard this before as well. It's if you're if you treat something like a business, then you'll get paid like it's a business, you know. And I know you sort of talk about what else is there to it in terms of what you learn, but I think that kind of ties in. It's that discipline to keep chipping away, be persistent, back yourself, you know. And that doesn't just apply for this kind of thing; it applies for anything, right? In all parts of your life. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned by just going through the process that is outlined, you know, and nobody kind of makes it out to be you know, straightforward and simple and smooth. You know, you speak to any of the guys that have done well from the course, and they'll all talk about how even today it's still bumpy. You know, it's still bumpy for me. This morning I had issues with various things with the business, and you just got to solve them. You become more of a problem solver, you know, thinking of the solutions rather than, you know, what's gone wrong, and, you know, kind of letting that get you down. You just got to get on with it. Otherwise, you know, there's nobody else to fix it for you.
I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah. I don't know if you can relate to this, but one of the things, you know, that I had to realise early on when I started working for myself after coming out of full-time employment was there's no safety net.
Yeah.
There's nobody there saying, have you done that job yet?
Yeah.
When are you going to finish this task? Right? Can you look at that? That's more important than this.
Yeah.
All the onus is on you. And when you've been in employment for such a long time, it's quite an alien thing to get to grips with. Yeah. But once you get to grip with it, it's a roller coaster, isn't it? You know, you have up days, you have down days. Like you just said, you've had delivery issues this morning, but then we were sat eating lunch, and you got an order in for what, nearly £3,000?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So in the space of a few hours, you're down, you're up.
Exactly, and I think that kind of graph is going to do that wavy thing all the time. But as long as it's going up when it does that, you know, that's that gradual increase, and you can see that over time. And there's times where sometimes you think in the past where, you know, it's like twiddling your thumbs. What's happening? There's nothing happening. You know, I'm very quiet at the minute. Why am I quiet? You know, why is nothing happening? And I've learned now as well to know that those are the times where, you know, it's not all falling apart. Your business hasn't just disappeared overnight. That's the time to really knuckle down and use the free time to double down on, you know, that thing that you had to put off when you were last busy, or that thing that you want to work on to improve what you've got. Don't just sort of think of it as a negative. Look at it as a positive, and then you'll reap the rewards in the future. And that's again another lesson of that you can apply elsewhere, not just for this.
Sure.
Yeah.
So after that first initial build, let's say, you know, sweat equity, I call it, right? You've got to put some time in, you've got to put some hours in, you've got to learn some new skills. How did things look after, say, the 6 month?
Yeah.
How long was it until you made that first sale?
I mean, I made an organic sale quite quickly, actually, maybe after a month, 6 weeks of the store being put together. No ads running. So, you know, that was a real signal to me to double down on things, especially after I'd had that first store that didn't quite work out.
How did that feel, that first?
Yeah, I was shocked. You know, I couldn't believe it because I wasn't running ads. And
the mobile app on, get the cheap.
Yeah, I did. And I think I was just sitting on the sofa and we were watching TV or something, and it went off, and it was in another room, my phone, and I went and had a look. I just couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, well, how is that possible? But it turns out that there was a bit of a pricing error on that product, right? So it wasn't all kind of, you know, again, going back to what we were saying, it wasn't all sort of smooth sailing, but it kind of triggered off in me that was, you know, a signal that, come on, like, something's working, you know, and
there's gold here.
Yeah, there's no better time to kind of keep going than now. And then, you know, a few weeks later, I had the ads running, and, you know, by that time I could start to see that there was sort of more consistency in the sales, and, you know, the prices were right and things like that, which is always the case. You always have these issues with price, with stock, with some supplier issues. You know, it's just part and parcel of it. But, it's that long-term thinking, and long-term perseverance that pays off over time. Yeah.
So first 6 months, then kind of 3 to 6 months building, you got off to a few sales, got your ads running.
Yeah.
How did it look after that?
So you're starting to get consistency in the sales. You're starting to see sales every other day, maybe every 2 or 3 days. And obviously, based on what you're teaching in the course, you kind of start to, there's no sort of magic formula as to when you start moving the bids up, when you start moving your ad spend up and things like that. But obviously, as you start seeing the growth, you can start to back things a little bit more. You just do it in a sensible way that feels good for you. And, over time, I only just looked yesterday actually as a graph of sales over time, and you can see the lines on the chart where you have the sales per day and things, and that chart is just getting denser and denser, and more sales occurring, over time. And that sort of 6 to 12 months is really picked up, or really did pick up. A lot more consistent. You sort of start talking sort of 1 or 2 sales a day, and obviously you have to have the caveat. It'll be different for every niche, and some niches will be bigger than others or whatnot. But I think somebody else said this to me, is that we're in a pretty fortunate time where we can build a business online, and to a degree, your limitations are the limitations as to how big you can make these things. So you just have to do it in a sensible manner and look for the signs of success to kind of show you that you're on the right path, and then just keep building and building. And now today, it's really going well. And you're probably looking at about 18 months in now. Actually, that would be slightly longer. You're probably saying 12 to 13 months, something like that, since when the store has really been kind of up and running. And now it's just really consistent, a lot more solid. And you've just got to keep chipping away. And I fully expect in another 12 months to be much further ahead than where I am now. Yeah.
I know we talked off camera about figures and stuff, and I know you're trying to get that milestone of £100,000 a month. You think that's going to happen this month?
Yeah, I think we're very close to it. To hitting 100k this month, which would be fantastic. And I don't see any signs of that stopping, to be honest with you. There's a lot of other things you can target, and I know within the course, you talk about ads and getting yourself set up with ads and paid advertising, social media advertising and things, and retargeting. But then there's also areas that you can look to expand out on that maybe aren't covered as much in the course, with organic traffic and things like that with SEO. So I'm looking to build out more on that side of things. And as I say, I think that the sort of you're only limiting yourself really in terms of what can be achieved over time. You're not going to get that kind of result overnight. It takes a lot of hard work, but there's nothing out there to stop you from doing that. Yeah.
Dropship Formula's intention from me was always to get somebody from zero to a business, right? And okay, we've got Google ads in there, we've got Microsoft Bing ads in there, we've got a little bit of retargeting, but all those are just the lowest hanging fruit. And we should get to that point of having traffic running, you're making profit. That's not the end of it.
Absolutely not. No.
There's so much more that can be done, like you say, with SEO, right? Blog building, link building, right? Even building partnerships. Even getting special kind of deals, sole ownership of a brand. Even the point of building your own brand, your own product.
100%.
Would you agree that some of these things now are starting to be on your horizon?
100%.
Things that you're looking at?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you go from being sort of a one-man band to realizing that the only way to take things further is to start to outsource as well. You have to kind of, and that's a challenge in itself sometimes, depending on what sort of stage you're at with things. Making sure that, again, you've got that sustainable business behind you. But when you get to a point where you've spotted opportunities and you want to go after them, I think, in a sort of organized way, you've got to think about what things you can pass on to somebody else. And that might cost money. Obviously, it will cost money, and you might have to pay for that. But the benefit of passing that over maybe to somebody that's better qualified or can do it faster or better will pay off, for one. And then that secondly frees you up to be able to go after that other element of sort of traffic, shall we say, or some other aspect of the business that you can grow and also learn about at the same time. And again, it's all compounding, isn't it? All the time, the knowledge is compounding, the effect is compounding on the business and potentially other businesses that you might have in the future. So I just, it's hard to see a downside, to be honest with you. And I guess I'm biased, and maybe you are too. But, providing that you really put the work in, there's no guarantees. There never is with anything in life. And I'm sure we don't need to tell people that. But, it's a really good risk reward, shall we say, in terms of what you're going to get out of it compared to what you have to put in.
As far as expectations go,
yeah.
I'm guessing your expectations have been met.
Absolutely. I mean, there's not it's almost embarrassing, to be honest with you, to kind of suggest that, that there's even a kind of chance that an expectation has been met, to be honest, in terms of the course and the product and the service that I paid for. I paid you for the product and the service that you put together. It's just an absolute no-brainer. So I think, there's always going to be some kind of, I remember buying the course when there were quite, a lot less people doing it, and it would only just started out. And I think now there's so much evidence that people are getting so much success, that maybe was quite probably a big element of a reason why somebody wouldn't maybe get the course in the past, because you think, well, who's this chap or whatever, but now it's just undeniable.
We're not looking to take on the big giants. I do a Facebook, as you know full well, I do a Facebook Live to the members only group. One of the points made on the last one was about competition and not entering into this niche or that niche because there were too many competitors. And as I say in the program, we're not aiming to take over the whole of that niche or that industry or that category of stores. We're not looking to be the next big Wayfair or Amazon. We're looking for a slice of the pie. And I don't know if it's a misconception that a slice of the pie is not enough, but a slice of the pie from what some of these bigger retailers is more than enough.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm still, relatively speaking, it's a one-person business. As I say, I've outsourced certain elements of things, which cost me money every month, but I'm still one person, right? If you think about some of the bigger players out there, you've got tens of people at the minimum, probably hundreds of people working in these businesses with overheads, offices, all of those sort of things. And as you say, quite rightly, you don't need to take a massive piece of that pie for it to be a very successful business. Literally single figure percentages, even less than probably on some occasions. And that will be more than enough to have a very prosperous business, which has kind of continued opportunity to grow. You don't have to stop. I guess at the starting point, obviously that's always going to be the hardest part. When you look at competition and you think, oh, I can't do this because of X, or I can't do this because of how many people are doing that. Everybody's got that situation. I know part with the niche validation and part of the course, that's something you talk about quite heavily. but you've just got to swing the bat, really. Yeah. You just got to swing the bat and know that the odds are on your side. Yeah,
you've got to be in the game.
Yeah,
and if you get knocked out, get back up.
Yeah,
get back at it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what would you say some of the highlights have been then in the whole process for you personally?
Yeah, I think in terms of the process with the course, obviously, getting to know people on the course, getting to know you, people that have got a similar mindset in terms of wanting to do well and succeed, and that side of things, which is good. And then, other things like, just generally speaking, like we spoke about before, the skills and all the things that I've learned in that way, it's huge. Specifically speaking, there's points where you sort of sit back and you're like, wow, it's kind of where I thought it could be, and then you start having to check yourself and say, well, what's next? And they're pretty nice moments. And yeah, they keep happening.
In terms of all-time revenue, do you mind talking about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Sort of to date now, I'm sort of looking at about 500,000 of sales so far, and that's only getting bigger faster, as time goes on. So
if you're heading for 100,000 a month,
yeah, exactly.
As you just alluded to earlier, there's that gradual curve.
Exactly.
One of the big things I find with a lot of people is their progression, as I see it. It starts off quite steady, slow, and then there's a pivotal moment where things just click, where you get it, right? And then off you go.
Yeah.
And you've got that steep rise.
Yeah.
I think you're on that. Fair to say you're on that steep rise now.
I think so. Yeah.
You've got new ideas on the horizon. You're bringing in other people to assist you to grow it, to build it.
Yeah, and sometimes that feels so far away, and you don't even realise it happens, right? And that's why, I always enjoy the opportunity to have a chat with you, for example, and others as well, and you kind of reflect on where you are now compared to, because, I think naturally sort of most people that are kind of looking to do something for themselves, sometimes they're a bit hard on themselves, or, you've got certain traits that kind of get you to this position. And you do have to reflect sometimes and say, pat on the back there, that's pretty impressive. But like you say, in terms of the trajectory, you kind of go from that kind of early stage to, a proper business. And as you've said, the opportunities once you start getting that cash flow and the profit and the money that you can then use to reinvest is really key, which I'm starting to do more and more now, because you get more and more confident and you realise that, as we said before, probably the limit to where I'm at with this now is to a degree me. Yeah. I'm in the way a little bit, and you've gone from having to really, get your hands dirty and dig up the weeds every day, chip away, really, slog away, to then saying, well, I've still got to do a lot of that, but I've still got to do.
Better if I get out the way.
Yeah, I've still got to think about really how do I systemize things, how do I take myself away from it, and I think that's the kind of stage I'm entering into now more. But yeah, loads of room to go. Yeah.
For anyone listening, watching, who's thinking about high ticket dropshipping or even thinking about dropship formula and joining, what would you say to them if they were here?
Obviously, I think from what I've already said, it's a no-brainer. I think if you've got to the point where you have found this course, then you're really lucky, because there's many paths you can go down, but I think this has got to be up there with one of the best, to try and create a really sustainable online business. And the way that you have put the course together and the support systems that you've got in place now with the coaching, of which I'm one, which is again, testament to the results that you get in, is, you just got to realize that there's not much out there that's any better, really, especially for building a high ticket dropshipping store. And I would argue that is probably one of the better ways to get into online business, out of the options that are out there. Yeah.
For people watching that might be interested in Dropship Formula, you can head to dropshipformula.co.uk/masterclass. I have a pre-recorded presentation in there that will tell you all about high-ticket dropshipping. I've got my 5 key principles to creating an online business. It's free to watch. By all means, take the time to go through that, listen to what I've got to say. If it's something that interests you, you might want to join in. Like Phil said, he's now a coach. He now coaches our members. So we have a fantastic coaching program. We have a fantastic community, and that's why we're here today. We are here to look at the venue. Phil's been around and looked at the rooms, and he knows the itinerary over everybody else. I mean, how do you feel about the...
No, it's exciting. Yeah, it's great. And, obviously having the chance to do it now, with all the things that have happened with COVID and things. So, having that chance to get together with the guys off the course and just, have a fun time and talk about what successes we've had and other things that we can learn from each other as well. That would be great. Yeah, it sounds really exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I want it to be a memorable time, an exclusive time for people of all levels. And I'm big on community. I'm big on support. It can be a lonely process, working for yourself and working online a lot of the time in isolation. So having that group of people that are there, in our group, in these meetups, is something I really want to encourage. And I don't find a lot of other people doing that kind of thing. Thank you, Phil, for being so honest with me and anyone listening. If this is on YouTube, have a look at the link in the description for the masterclass. Subscribe by all means. Like the video. It helps me promote Dropship Formula. If you want to talk with me or one of my team, make sure you've watched the masterclass, and then you can book a bit of time with me, and I'll call you back and we can chat about your options of joining my program. I've got quite a few different options, but for now I think we'll leave it. We're going to enjoy the sunshine, head back. The football's on tonight. We're going to get back to the football. Phil, thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Simon. Appreciate it.
Bye for now.
Cheers.